Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
into True FM 96.1.
what's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Boakai, if you don't organize yourself in a grateful manner, we'll give you a better.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
News somewhere at 12. My name is Hansen there represent. Welcome to News and Analysis 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa and our one world.
Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
How is life after the presidency?
But before the presidency, the same life that what you see. I have a different life. You know, when I was not president, this life that what I live. You know, with my family and
I have a lot of interest in the health sector, the educational sector, and the agriculture sector. Works connecting those things.
Yeah, we are calling international community to come to intervene for us because, like I just stated previously, we don't know who to trust.
Always make sure to turn on to our
Ria TV and listening to True FM 96.1.
It's 2 o'clock in Liberia. This is news and analysis 30 minutes of major happenings about Liberia, Africa and our one world. Today is Wednesday, October 23, 2024, and I'm George Boy, anchor in.
A pleasant good evening from the News Center here at the Renaissance Communications Incorporated. Welcome to News Desk, 45 minutes of news from Liberia and other parts of the world. Today is Thursday, October 24, 2024. My name is Mark Davis, presenting. In the top stories we are following tonight, the unbending stance of the majority bloc of the House of Representatives forces embattled Speaker Fonati Kofa to run to the Supreme Court for a writ of prohibition. To reset Liberia's foreign policy direction, President Joseph Boakai cancels all ambassadors at large, special envoys, and trade and investment representatives with immediate effect. Liberian Senate constitutes committee to mediate between the opposing blocs of the House of Representatives to resolve the leadership crisis in the lower house. And of the home front, Mozambique's ruling party wins the country's divisive, violence-marred election, extending its 49-year grip on power in the Southern African nation, according to official results. The details of these developments, including the bulletin of news, voices of the newsmakers, sports, are all part of this presentation. We're taking a short break to be back.
Ria TV, True FM.
Say Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
into True FM 96.1.
Well, thanks for rejoining us, and this news program is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited. Let's now join Nikita Rawat to bring us the news bulletin. Good evening.
Good evening, Maka, and good evening, everyone. President Joseph Boakai has, with immediate effect, canceled all ambassadors at large, special envoys, and trade and investment representatives. Information Minister Jeremy McPia said reappointments will be made based on the country's governance need for the role in the current dispensation. He said the reappointments will also come with clear and specific terms of reference and reporting lines within the framework of the country's foreign policy direction. The information minister stated that the government will ensure that the process will be dignified and all those who serve will be properly notified and thanked for their respective services to the country. In another development, Minister Jeremy McPierre has confirmed that Ethiopia Airlines, the largest carrier in Africa, is resuming flights to Monrovia. The information minister disclosed that the airline will offer 3 weekly flights to Liberia's capital, restoring a critical air link that will enhance connectivity in West Africa and contribute to the region's economic development. Minister Pierre made the disclosure Thursday at the Ministry of Information regular press briefing in Monrovia. The unbending stance of the majority bloc of the House of Representatives has forced embattled House Speaker Funanti Kofa to run to the Supreme Court with a petition for a rate of prohibition. The High Court on Thursday confirmed to RCI judicial correspondent that Councillor Kofa's legal team filed the petition for a rate of prohibition before the presiding judge in chamber at the Supreme Court with the objective of preventing the majority bloc from holding separate sections. Councillor Kofar's application claimed that his colleagues' separate session is illegal and wanted the High Court intervention through the petition for a rate of prohibition. Prohibition, according to RCI judicial correspondent, is a special proceeding that seeks to obtain a rate ordering the respondent to refrain from pursuing a judicial action or proceeding specified therein. Our judicial correspondent further said the presiding justice in chamber is expected to call all parties for a legal conference in a couple of days before making any decision on the matter as provided by law. About 43 members of the House have since declared a vote of no confidence in Speaker Kofa through a resolution to remove him and have resorted to having separate sessions for the past days. This action has left the Speaker with no quorum to do the business of the House of Representatives. Meanwhile, the majority bloc has unanimously voted to declare the position of Deputy Speaker vacant if the Deputy Speaker Thomas Fala fails to appear in their section on Tuesday of next week. They made the decision on Thursday during the separate section in the joint chamber of the House of Representatives, presided over by Representative Clarence Garr. The majority bloc has also endorsed a motion compelling the chief clerk and the entire clerical staff to appear for section next week, Tuesday. Meanwhile, the majority bloc has refuted Speaker Kofa's accusations against them of budget manipulations and making individual requests for money in the budget. The embattled speaker made the allegations recently on Spoon Talk, but the spokesperson of the majority bloc, comprising of 43 members, Representative Jan Flomer, said Speaker Kofa's assertions were mere tactics to divert the public attention from the grave allegations leveled against him by the majority bloc. He spoke Wednesday night in a press conference. The Liberian Senate has set up a committee to mediate between the opposing blocs of the House of Representatives to resolve the leadership crisis. The mediation team was constituted following a consultative meeting on Thursday. The committee is headed by Grand Bassa County Senator Bwesanga Finlay as chairman and Rivergy County Senator Wellington Javon Smith as co-chair. Other members of the committee include Grand Juda County Senator Thomas Yaya Nimne, Maryland County Senator Blebo Brown, and Grand Cape County Senator Daba Vaplin. The committee members are charged with the responsibility to mediate between the majority bloc of 43 members headed by Representative Samuel Konga and the 30 other members supporting Speaker Kofa. The Senate leadership believes the resolution of the matter between the aggrieved members of the House of Representatives and Speaker Fonati Kofa is in the interest of peace and will ensure a stable legislature for democratic governance. At the same time, members of the Liberian Senate have debated over an act to create the Liberia Seaport Regulatory Authority and the Liberia Seaport Decentralization Act. The reports emanated from the Joint Committee on Public Cooperation and Judiciary, Human Rights, Claim and Petition of the Liberian Senate. The bill, when passed into law, will enable various counties with seaport to have direct control over the operations of the port in their respective counties. Maigibi County Senator Emmanuel Nukwe, who read the report on behalf of his colleagues, named the Port of Monrovia, Buchanan Port in Grand Bassa County, the Port of Greenville in Sano County, and the Port of Harper in Maryland County. During the debate, majority member of the Senate vowed to support the passage of the bill, but recommend clarification of key lines within the bills before passage. At the close of the deliberations, Maigibi County Senator Nathaniel McGill made a motion that was accepted that the recommendations made on the bill be considered and the bill be presented back to plenary within 1 week. In response to President Joseph Boakai mandate, Labor Minister Cooper Crow has commenced the inspection of major betting centers to ensure compliance with labor regulations. In a letter of appreciation to Minister Crow recently, President Joseph Boakai mandated him to inspect all gaming centers to ensure that Liberians working in those companies are treated in line with the labor law. Making the disclosure Thursday, Deputy Director for Press and Public Affairs at the Ministry of Labor, Frederick Bay, said the inspection, which commenced on Wednesday, October 20th, will target various gambling entertainments and bars across the country. According to Bay, the inspection headed by Labor Inspector General Charles Brown will ensure that Liberians are prioritized to carry out skilled and unskilled labor, and their salaries are in line with the Ministry of Labor minimum wage bill. In a related development, Councillor Cooper Crow has concluded an inspection of concession companies in Nimba County, making the disclosure on Thursday upon their return. Labor Minister's Deputy Director for Public Affairs, Frederick Bay, noted that the inspection was to ensure that foreign employees at the companies have the requisite work permits. According to him, the Labor Ministry during the tour met with various working unions to assure them of the government's commitment to seeking their welfare. The Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia, CENTAR, has welcomed the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission decision to initiate an investigation into the bribery allegations characterizing ongoing process to remove House Speaker Fonati Kofa. CENTAR has therefore urged LACC to be timely and holistic in investigating the matter and all other emerging issues and allegations, including accusations of wrongdoing by the Speaker. According to CENTAR, this latest bribery scandal and other emerging issues present an opportunity for LACC to thoroughly investigate these matters and provide clear information to the public on the outcomes. The executive director of CENTAR, Addison Myean, told a press conference on Thursday that the commission must go beyond the allegation of bribery to remove the Speaker and investigate other issues that are emerging, including revelations from the Speaker about budget corruption and manipulation involving some representatives. Myean said the decisions of the legislature, the lower house, in this instant case, must be lawful, transparent, and void of alleged and confirmed incidents of bribery and other forms of corruption. Meanwhile, the center boss has urged the legislature to be open for audit and other review processes, as may be prescribed by the General Auditing Commission and other statutorily mandated institutions. Myean also warned the GSE to collaborate with other internationally acclaimed audit institutions to conduct the process and provide credible and timely reports on financial and other dealings of the legislature. And away from Liberia, Mozambique's ruling party, Frelimo, has won the country's divisive, violent, merged election, extending its 49-year grip on power in the Southern Africa nation. According to official results, Daniel Chipo, Philando's relatively unknown presidential candidate, seen as an agent of change, will replace Phillips Yonsi, who has served 2 terms. At 47, Chipo, who gained 71% of the votes, will be the first president born after independence in 1975. His closest challenger, Vanikyo Modali, got 20%. Following the announcement of the result, there have been violent protests in several towns and a number of people have been killed. There is also heavy police presence in some areas. The election has been marred by allegations of rigging and the killing of opposition supporters, prompting protests across the country. That's our CN News Bulletin. Is back to you.
Ria TV, True FM.
Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV.
Into Truth FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Bakala, if you don't organize yourself in a rightful manner, we'll keep you better.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
News summary of 12. My name is Hansen there represent. Welcome to News and Analysis 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and our one world.
Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
How is life after the presidency?
But before the presidency, the same life that what you see. I live a different life. You know, when I was not president, this life that what I live. You know, with my family and
I have a lot of interest in the health sector, the educational sector, and the agriculture sector. Roads, connecting roads in this country.
Yeah, we are calling international community to come to intervene for us because, like I just stated previously, we don't know who to trust.
Always make sure to turn on to our
Ria TV and listening to Truth FM 96.1.
It's 2 o'clock.
Well, thanks for reading us here on the news program. Thanks to Nakita Rabba, who read for us the bulletin of news. It is a regular feature here on news desk. If you're just joining us in one of the top stories we are following tonight, Liberian Senate constitutes committee to mediate between the opposing blocs of the House of Representatives to resolve the leadership crisis in the lower house. Let's go to this first development. The unbending stance of the majority bloc of the House of Representatives has forced embattled House Speaker Funati Kofa to run to the Supreme Court with a petition for a writ of prohibition. The High Court on Thursday confirmed to RCR judicial correspondent that Councillor Kofa's legal team filed a petition for a writ of prohibition before the presiding justice in chamber at the Supreme Court with the objective of preventing the majority bloc from holding sections. Councillor Kofa's application claimed that his colleague's separate section is illegal and wanted the High Court's intervention through his petition for a writ of prohibition. About 43 members of the House have since declared a vote of no confidence in Speaker Kofa through a resolution to remove him and have resorted to having separate section for the past days. This action has left the Speaker with no quorum to do business of the House of Representatives. Meanwhile, the majority bloc has unanimously voted to declare the position of Deputy Speaker vacant if Deputy Speaker Thomas Fala fails to appear in their section on Tuesday of next week to preside. They made the decision on Thursday during their separate section in the joint chamber of the House, presided over by Representative Clarence Gar. Their position was made clear by Representatives Myean Flomo of Nimba County and Representative Jeremiah Sokan.
In that communication, I suggest we sign a caveat, but his refusal to join us on Tuesday will leave us with no option but to declare his position vacant. Our rule number 12.1, clearly the rule laid out that when there is a simple majority, that majority has a responsibility to do the Liberian people business. Also, when we go back from rule 8, 9, and 10, we see the succession in 10, and noting clearly the absence of the speaker, this honorable body took the time that the deputy speaker was written to be here. We feel clearly that the deputy speaker should be here next Tuesday and preside over this majority body to enable the body to move ahead to do the Liberian people business for which each and every one of us were elected. I think it's important at this point in time for the deputy speaker and all the rest of the staff to join us in this chamber to begin to do the Liberian people business. And so I will add my voice to the voices of my colleagues that if the deputy speaker fail not to show up with this August body should have no option but to declare his position vacant and move when we have the appropriate number that will make us to make the kind of strategic change. The deputy speaker should be no exemption. It should be part of and be considered as an integral part to face the full weight of this August body because we need to carry on the Liberian people business, the reason for which we are here.
Grangida County Representative Jeremiah Sokan. Earlier on, you listened to Nimba District 2 Representative Myean Flomo. Meanwhile, the majority bloc has refuted Speaker Kofa's accusations against them of budget manipulations and making individual requests for money in the budget. The embattled speaker made the allegations recently on Spoon Talk, but the spokesperson of the majority bloc, comprising of 43 members, Representative Myean Flomo, said Speaker Kofa's assertions were mere tactics to divert the public attention from the grave allegations levied against him by majority bloc of the House of Representatives.
The recent assertion made by Speaker J. Fullerton Kofa on TV regarding alleged budget manipulation, audit interference, bribery, and unsubstantiated claims about lawmakers and diplomatic travel are grossly misleading and must be addressed with the facts. Contrary to Speaker Kofa's claim that more than $7 million was moved through his budget without his consent, we think there is a lie. The Liberian budget process is transparent and adheres to established procedures. No request, absolutely no request, but this very can be made through the Ministry of Finance without the expressed approval of the owner of the budget line in question. Moreover, quarterly budget performance reports are routinely submitted to the legislature. including detailed reports on its own budget performance. So it is Speaker saying during those periods when those quarterly budget performance reports were presented, he did not go through them to know that people are taking money through his land without his consent. Displays of budget manipulation are simply founded as all financial allocations undergo a rigorous approval process of which he is fully aware.
He is Nema County District 2 Representative Jan Flomo, who is the spokesperson for the majority bloc of the House of Representatives. President Joseph Boakai has with immediate effect cancelled all ambassadors at large, special envoys, and trade and investment representatives. Information Minister Jeremy Pia said reappointments will be made based on the country's governance need for the roles in the current dispensation. He said the reappointments will also come with clear and specific terms of references and reporting lines within the framework of the country's foreign policy direction. The information minister stated that the government will ensure that the process will be dignified and all those who served will be properly notified and thanked for their respective services to country. Well, we hope to bring you that excerpt in subsequent time. To this one, members of the Liberian Senate have debated on an act to create the Liberia Seaport Regulatory Authority and the Liberia Seaport Decentralization. The report emanated from the Joint Committee on Public Cooperation and Judiciary, Human Rights Claims and Petition of the Liberian Senate. The bill, when passed into law, will enable various counties with seaport to have direct control over the operations of the port in their respective counties. The report was read by Margibi County Senator Emmanuel Nokwe.
For the decentralization of the National Port Authority, other and active port regulatory authority, two separate instruments. The first one comes from this concept. We have, as of now, about the National Port Authority. The National Port Authority is used by the couple that administers the affairs of four of our seaports. The first is the Port of Monrovia, the new one for the seaport of Monrovia, Port of Myean, Port of Torgbean, the last is the Port of Apple. The four ports are progressively under the management authority, meaning that the operations and management have been centralized. When the bill to create the Port Authority of Monrovia, of Myean, of Greenville, of Apple, seems to do is to separate the operation and administration of the port from each other. That is, as I said, we have a situation where the operation of the port are being centralized under the administration of the National Port Authority. And they are made a lot of disadvantages as a result, because the focus of the National Port Authority has been people of Monrovia.
Meanwhile, during the debate, majority members of the Senate vowed to support the passage of the bill, but recommended clarification of key lines within the bills before passage.
The report on the decentralization of the port is supposed effective management, recommending some of the opportunity for training for young people in those communities. So I agree and support the decentralization. And the partner said we have to put into the hand all of incoming folks into this so that when they come, they will have independence. They will be on their own, rather than be controlled by a central command, and they get to anything for themselves. So it's not only about the operations, it's also about the future of economic activities that will generate revenue for these folks. So we have to take that. The big issue why we want changes is because of the bureaucracy. If we are serious, they are prioritized. Let's give our citizens the right to play and be part of these companies. often share. If we want to do that.
At the close of the deliberations, Margibi County Senator Nathaniel McGill made a motion that was accepted that the recommendations made on the bill will be considered and the bill be presented back to a plenary within 1 week.
All right, for the purpose of making a motion, listen to the very extensive debate by all our colleagues and move therefore by the recommendation of the committee in principle, be accepted for the following recommendation for the bill be taken back to the committee to incorporate all the necessary and going through the dialogue be confirmed by the Senate. And it was did I second? They move and second the principle. So that's the Bible. So keep it. So we accept the concept.
He is Margibi County Senator Nathaniel McGill, there raising a motion on the bill concerning the decentralization of the ports of Liberia. In response to President Joseph Boakai's mandate, Labour Minister Cooper Kura has commenced the inspection of major betting centers to ensure compliance with labour regulations. In a letter of appreciation to Councillor Kura recently, President Joseph Boakai mandated him to inspect all gaming centers to ensure that Liberians working in those companies are treated in line with the labor laws of Liberia. Making the disclosure Thursday, Deputy Director for Press and Public Affairs at the Labour Ministry, Frederick Bay, said the inspection, which commenced on Wednesday, October 23, will target various gambling, entertainment, and bars across the country.
The president mandated the minister to move beyond just the large concessions and ensure that gambling companies, we can name them gambling companies, casinos, bars, clubs, restaurants, nightclubs, all these institutions or entities where the ministry was mandated by the presidential mandate to ensure that they must be thoroughly inspected, they must be thoroughly visited, their working conditions must be made to be in compliance with all labor regulations, health, safety-wise, or the safety of the workers. And then that particular exercise by Monday of the president was launched yesterday, the 23rd of October. The minister dispatched the Inspector General, Mr. Charles Brown, and his team. I was on that team myself. From 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock this morning, we were all out there reaching to these casinos, restaurants, night business activity and the rest of it, gambling areas, top stacks, all of them. But what is more concerning, and we'd like to throw out to the public, especially the Liberians that are working with these Chinese and Asian companies over there with these casinos and the rest of it, is that what we encountered, that the team encountered last night was unprecedented and unexpected. While the government is protecting the interests of Liberian workers at these places where they are being underpaid, the government is talking about modeling the minimum wage program. Our own Liberian citizens that have been hired by these people have to get up in their number and almost attack the team last night.
In a related development, Councillor Kura has concluded an inspection of construction companies in Nimba County. Making a disclosure Thursday, Frederick Bay noted that the inspection was to ensure that foreign employees at those companies have the requisite work permits.
Mr. Cooper Democrat, the Ministry of Labor, and his team of labor enforcement experts were in Nimba for about 2 weeks. Basically, the commissioner and others took a week to groundwork, and the minister spent a week there with the team. It was basically intended to ensure that people who are foreign expatriate or workers in our country, working with these giant investment groups like ArcelorMittal, Afcons, WBHOS, PSS, Mahati Infra Company, all of these companies are foreign-owned companies, and they have a right under our investment code of conduct to work in the country and enjoy the atmosphere. Equally so, the labor component of their operation is the concentration of the Ministry of Labor. So the minister has been very busy. His team, he himself leads the team these days. We were over there for a week. We toured all of the concession areas. Couple of complaints came forth, where work that should be performed by Liberians will be performed by aliens, mainly from the eastern side, talking about Pakistanis, and the minister took key note of that. They also talk about their working conditions. Some of them didn't have feeding activity, that they don't have food to eat, lunch, they were not receiving lunch. Transportation was also another problem. This issue was randomly brought forth by the workers. All the problems were almost the same from each area to another area. The minister took her time to talk to them and ensure that the government was committed, to seeking their welfare and ensuring that they do not become spectators in this economy under this government.
He is one of the communication officers at the Labor Ministry of Torgbean. They're speaking about the minister's recent tour of concessions in Nimba County. We've little past the half-hour mark. You are listening to News Dex on Truth 96.1 FM. Up next is Sports with Edwin Batafoyan.
Good evening, Margaret, and good evening, everyone. The run tweet of the Liberia Football Association First Division League get underway on today with Invincible 11 RE bowing down to Pinzio in the 2-0 defeat for the Liberia traditional side at the SKD practice page in Pinzio. Both teams clashed in the 2023-2024 Orange Cup final that witnessed Pinzio emerging victorious against their opponent in a 1-0 stoppage time on April 10 of this year. Pinzio have won 2 of their 3 First Division League matches encountered following their 3-1 home defeat to Heaven 11. Money Spender FC Facel defeated newly promoted Discovery 1-0 on Thursday at the Tusa Field in Ghannasville. Anthony Nkaseko's side Facel defeated Bay Mountain 3-0 on March the 1 and Blackman Warrior 2-1 in Buchanan on March the 2. In another feature, Watanga FC will battle all PRC Audios at the SKD practice page on Friday afternoon in continuation of the LFA First Division League. The Shipping Boys of Leska FC will be away to Cayenne Pepper Boys of Mati Barrow, who continues to struggle in the top flat at the Doris Williams Sports page in Buchanan, Grand-Baxa County, while newly promoted First Division side Shatta FC will be hoping to make it 2 wins out of 3 encounters when they welcome second place Heaven 11 on Friday evening at the Tusa Field in Ghannasville. As well, Bill Mountain will welcome Scotland Global Fairman at the Antoinette Tottenham Sports Stadium in Central Monrovia at 4 p.m., while Freeport FC and Blackman Warrior will clamor the days for the First Division Football Festival at the Open Air D2 Stadium. FC Facel currently tops the league table with 9 points from 3 games, followed by Heaven 11, who has a game in hand on Friday. The local national team under interim coach Thomas Kojo began training on Wednesday evening in preparation for the upcoming 2024 Ken qualifier against Sierra Leone. The first leg is set for Sunday, 27th of October at the SKD Sports Complex, with the second leg also taking place at the same venue on November 1. Coach Thomas Kojo has appointed Christopher Red and Koba Sanon as assistant coaches, even Myean as the physical trainer and Johnny Sumo as the goalkeeper coach. Former Lone Star coach Romanian Gaffer Mario Maranica, who secretly resigned after the Lone Star 2-1 defeat to Equatorial Guinea in the AFCON Morocco qualifiers. Now to basketball. The Federation of International Basketball Association FIBA has qualified Liberian champions Mati Barrow to the Elite 16 polls to take place in Abidjan, the Ivory Coast, according to a communication addressed to the Secretary General of the Liberia Basketball Association, Calvin Diggs. FIBA Africa has qualified the Liberian champions as wildcard qualifier from the RTB Western Division to the Elite 16 scheduled for November 5 to the 10th. The communication was also addressed to the head coach of Mati Barrow, Assad Fadel. FIBA in the communication requested Mati Barrow to confirm their participation with less than 2 weeks to the kickoff of the competition. During the preliminary qualifiers, the Liberian champions finished 3rd place after winning 1 from 3 matches in their group. They were placed in Group A with ABC Fighters of Ivory Coast, Benin Ellen Carton, and Ghana Sprinters Kenneth. ABC Fighters finished as winner of the group, while Ghana Sprinter Class finished as runner-up. And up to home from FC Barcelona finally put an end to their 4-year winless run against Bundesliga champions Bayern Munich. FC Barcelona recorded a historical 4-1 victory against Bayern Munich in their own backyard in Catalonia. Barcelona. Rafinha got a hat-trick, becoming the first Brazilian international to score a hat-trick for Barcelona against Bayern Munich. Barcelona moved 10 on the UEFA Champions League new format table with 6 points, 7 goals different following their 4-1 victory over Bayern Munich. The Spanish giant will be in action over the weekend when they take on Real Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu in the first El Clasico of the new league season. A win for Barcelona against Real Madrid will extend their league to the top of the table with 6-point margin, while a win for Real Madrid will tie the points. That's it for the sports.
Ria TV, True FM.
Ria TV,
On Myean TV.
YouTube Truth FM 96.1.
Well, sports is a regular feature here on News Desk, thanks to Edwin Batapoyan. Today's major development, President Joseph Boakai has with immediate effect cancelled all ambassadors at large, special envoys, and trade and investment representatives. Information Minister Jeremy Pia said reappointments will be made based on the country's governance need for the roles in the current dispensation. He said the reappointments will also come with clear and specific terms of references and reporting lines within the framework of the country's foreign policy direction.
The Director of the President, His Excellency Joseph Boakai, all ambassadors at large, special envoys, trade and investment representatives are hereby cancelled for the immediate effect. Reappointments will be made based on the country's government's need for the roles in the current dispensation. The reappointments will also come with clear and specific terms of references and reporting lines within the framework of the country's foreign policy direction. It is important also to state that we ensure that the process will be dignified and that all those who serve will be properly notified and thanked for their respective services to the country.
At the same time, Minister Pia has confirmed that Ethiopian Airlines, the largest carrier in Africa, has resumed flights to Monrovia. The information minister disclosed that the airline will offer 3 weekly flights to Liberia's capital, restoring a critical air link that will enhance connectivity in West Africa and contribute to the region's economic development.
Ethiopia Airways, Africa's largest carrier, is set to resume passenger services in Liberia's capital, Monrovia, beginning November 30th. The airline will offer 3 times weekly flights, restoring the vital air lane that promises to enhance connectivity in West Africa and support Liberia's social economic development. The resumption of services underscores Ethiopia Airlines' continuous expansion across the continent, including our country, where it plays a pivotal role in facilitating trade, tourism, and cultural exchange. The renewed flights are expected to boost Liberia's integration into the global economy, offering travelers seamless connection to the airline vast international network. Flight ET933 will depart Addis Ababa every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 10 a.m., arriving in Monrovia at 1:50 p.m. The return flight ET932 will leave Monrovia every Tuesday and Thursday, Saturday at 10 a.m. onwards.
Here's Information Minister Jeremy Pia there speaking at the ministry's regular press briefing on Thursday in Monrovia. The Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia, CENTAL, has welcomed the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission's decision to initiate an investigation into the bribery allegations characterizing ongoing process to remove House Speaker Fonati Kofa. CENTAL has therefore urged the LACC to be timely and holistic in investigating the matter and all other emerging issues and allegations, including accusations of wrongdoing by the Speaker. Here is CENTAL's Executive Director, Anderson Myean.
We welcome the Liberia Corruption Commission's swift move to publicly announce the initiation of an independent investigation into the bribery scandal characterizing the ongoing process to remove Speaker Kofa. We urge the Commission to be timely and holistic in investigating the matter and all other emerging issues and allegations, including accusations of wrongdoing. This latest bribery scandal and other emerging issues present an opportunity for LACC to thoroughly investigate these matters and provide clear information to the public on the outcome. We call for the involvement of other partners and stakeholders in taking on this process, ensuring that it is transparent, holistic, and involve all actors and players concerned. We call on LACC to go beyond the allegation of bribery to remove the Speaker, investigate other issues that are emerging, including revelations from the Speaker about budget corruption and manipulation. The decisions of the legislature, the lower house in this instant case, must be lawful, transparent, and void of alleged and confirmed incidences of bribery and other forms of corruption. We call for thorough investigation into the current bribery allegations and other issues emerging regarding budget corruption and tampering.
He is the Executive Director of the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia, under Myean. They're speaking during a press conference today in Monrovia. Well, folks, this is how we love to go home on this edition of News Desk. But before we go, a recap of the headlines. The unbending stance of the majority bloc of the House of Representatives forces embattled House Speaker Fonade Kofa to run to the Supreme Court for a writ of prohibition. To reset Liberia's foreign policy direction, President Joseph Boakai cancels all ambassadors at large, special envoys, and trade and investment representatives with immediate effect. Liberian Senate constitutes committee to mediate between the opposing blocs of the House of Representatives to resolve the leadership crisis in the lower house of the legislature. And of the home front, Mozambique's ruling party wins the country's divisive, violence-mad election, extending its 49-year grip on power in the Southern African nation, according to official results. Many thanks to all of you for your listening. Real thanks to those who follow us live on Real TV. Thanks to Nakita Roberts, who read for us the news bulletin. Edwin Batafoy and Brothers Post tonight. Kopa Sanga, Sarah Control, and coordinated the sounds. Myean Torgbean, as usual, has been behind the cameras, carrying us live on Real TV. Thanks to our sponsors, Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited. My name is Marka Davis. Good night.
Real TV, True FM.
Real TV, True FM.
On Real TV.
Into True FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Boakai if you don't organize yourself in your rightful manner, we'll keep you a better Liberia.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
Some news summary at 12. My name is Hansen Delta Present.
Welcome to News and Analysis 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and our one world.
Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
How is life after the presidency?
But before the presidency, the same life that what you see. I live a different life. You know, when I was not president, this life that what I live. You know, with my family and
I have a lot of interest in the health sector, the educational sector, and the agriculture sector. Roads, connecting roads in this country.
Yeah, we are calling international community to come to intervene for us because, like I just stated previously, we don't know who to trust.
Always make sure to turn on to our
Real TV and listening to Truth FM 96.1.